Good morning. With the grace and peace of Jesus Christ, I welcome you to worship at Second Presbyterian Church in Indianapolis. By God's grace, we gather in the presence of God this morning. By God's grace, we are equipped through worship for faithful living. And by God's grace, we are sent into the world as courageous disciples of Jesus Christ, a community of saints. That's our theme for this program year, equipping the saints for the work of ministry. We are here to be charged up for that work. My charge this week came from seeing Second in action in such a wide variety of ways, distributing over 1,000 coats to neighbors as the temperatures turn colder, gathering in prayer for our members, visiting with those who are sick or recovering from surgery, reading creative and faithful words from our Second Thoughts anthology of writings, digging for vegetables in the community garden, the gifts of this congregation, the joy we share in ministry. Your gifts make this ministry possible. Your commitments allow us to plan for the year ahead. We are now more than 60% of the way to our goal for the 2022 operating budget, and we give thanks for that. Please take a moment to prayerfully consider your call to generosity, and then make your commitment at secondchurch.org/give, or by using the QR code on the back of your bulletin. I've been looking forward to this day for many months. In fact, you might say this is a day that was more than 2 years in the making. This morning, we welcome a familiar name and a beloved voice back to the pulpit of Second Presbyterian Church. The Reverend Dr. Bill Enright, Senior Pastor Emeritus, led Second courageously and served this church faithfully for 24 years, from 1981 to 2004. In that time, Dr. Enright deepened and expanded our congregation's ministries in every conceivable way, strengthening Second's role and purpose as a church for the city, whose vision and ministry blessed neighbors near and far. After retiring from ministry here at Second, Bill served as the founding Karen Lake Buttrey Director of the Lake Institute on Faith and Giving at the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, where his vision and leadership built a world-class institute focused on the intersection of religious conviction and generosity. In so many ways, Bill Enright continues to bless our congregation, our city, and people of faith around the country through his mentoring and leadership. Along with Edie, now serving as an active member of our session, Bill continues to be an active and engaged part of Second Church. And now a brief personal note. On December 14th, 2017, I visited the city of Indianapolis for the first time at the invitation of your pastor nominating committee. Cindy Swider picked me up from the airport, drove me to a restaurant, prayed for me in the parking lot, and walked me in to meet Bill Enright for breakfast. We were scheduled for an hour together. More than 2 hours later, Cindy reluctantly popped in to say that we really needed to go. In that 2-hour conversation, I felt a clear sense of call to this time and this place. I was captivated by Bill's vision of Second and by his passion for this congregation. I believe that God spoke to me through Bill Enright that day. I imagine that there are many here who could give similar testimony. For Bill Enright has been a vessel of God's word of grace, courage, renewal, and call in innumerable lives for many decades. This is because Bill Enright has been attentive to the one who first called him, a faithful steward of his immense gifts. We give thanks to God for Bill Enright this day as we welcome him back to the pulpit. And now, brothers and sisters, in a spirit of joy and gratitude, let us gather our hearts and minds to worship God.